We're also looking at that chance of some lowland snow. We're not talking a lot right now. We're kind of getting a grip on it, but snow levels will be down near sea level tomorrow morning. Still showers around, and we could see maybe an inch of wet, slushy snow in places around the Sound. So we're going to be able to fine-tune that as we get a little bit closer to it, and the computer models finally start to agree about what's going to happen. Right, Ashley?
Right. So we are watching that very carefully, and what we were showing you before was that plume of moisture. We've been talking about that atmospheric river, and the bulk of it has been over Oregon, northern Oregon, and
that's where the wettest stuff has been, for sure. Wettest and warmest.
And like you mentioned earlier, some of those high rain totals too. And so we're on the colder side of the system. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, just to say, okay, what's going on and why there is that potential for some, maybe a lowland rain and snow mix? We'll take you up to the upper levels of the atmosphere.
Well, you notice if you kind of track that back, and the weather systems kind of follow through this, you can see the green areas and blue areas. If you track that back, they came out of the northern Gulf of Alaska and then swing in here. The other areas, we widen that out just a little bit. See, those are coming from more southern latitude. So basically, you have the contrast. The cold side, the jet stream is embedded in all of that, in the cold side of the jet stream and the warm side. We have been in the cold side. I mean, if you recall, yesterday morning we still had snow levels down near sea level briefly. So we saw that shift, though, yesterday, where the warm side lifted up, moved through here, raised snow levels to about 5,000 feet. Now, little waves kind of move along this, kind of ripple through there. So it's rippling down south, and now it's going to ripple down far enough to the south as we head towards late tonight and tomorrow that we're going to be seeing those snow levels drop down to sea level to about 500 feet.
And you can even, pardon me, you guys, the allergies are taking over.
They're everywhere right now.
They certainly are. So, and this is what Rich was talking about. So those cooler colors, how it slowly sags more to the south
and
into
they're coming
Friday.
out of colder air coming out of the northern Gulf of Alaska.
And it keeps moving south, but then that changes.
Yeah, and you see that little bump there, that ridge of high pressure pushing towards, and there's a warm front kind of embedded in that, and that's going to be moving in as we head on towards the weekend. So by the end of the weekend, we'll see our snow levels really start to rise up, and as we head into next week, they're going to be up above 5,000 to 6,000 feet. But shorter term, not so much.
Not so much. And we were talking about the snow levels even this morning, how quickly they dropped again.
Oh yeah, they went very quickly from 5,000 feet down to, we can follow the aircraft flying in and out of SeaTac actually carry temperature sensors, and we get traces from it so that we can see exactly where the freezing level is, and from that the snow level. And this morning they dropped all the way from above 3,000 feet down to 1,000 feet in the space of about 2 hours. So that came in really, really quickly. We're going to see that stick around and maybe drop a little bit more later today and tonight. It's going to warm a little bit today just because of daytime warming, but it'll come back down overnight tonight. So we're still trying to sort out how much and where we might see that wet snow tomorrow morning, but definitely an interesting addition to everything else that's been going on.
Yes, and the computer models, I mean, not really showing much of this. We knew we were going to have some colder air aloft, but would that just clash with the moisture? And so now
you know, that usually when we're trying to determine for lowland snow, it's a matter of we cool down usually as we dry out, and so it's a race between having it cool enough for that to happen while the moisture gradually dries up. And it looks like it may last long enough, the cool down is going to overlap, and that's the reason we might see some wet snow around the lowlands tomorrow morning. I should also underline the fact that we're not looking at anything like an Arctic outbreak. Oftentimes we have snow, it falls and it freezes. Not looking at that. It's this maritime air coming out of the Gulf of Alaska or places farther south is what we're going to be looking at by the end of the weekend.
And so we are saying minor accumulations are possible because most of it would fall late when we get the coldest temperatures and then overnight as well.
And the early morning hours,
But our surface temperatures are still going to be
they're probably above freezing. Yeah, they'll be in the 30s. So, but that means that if it starts to snow, it usually melts before it gets to the ground here. That means if the temperatures are in the low to mid 30s, it doesn't melt, and so it makes it all the way to the ground.